We are live with another one, guys. Okay, we are live with another one. The mic is hot. You already know what this is, guys. This is OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. And like I always say, this is your channel, the only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right, guys, we are here. Okay. We are here. UFC 323 is upon us, guys. Okay. I will be going live for that card. However, I will not be going live for the main card. Okay. I will be going live for the early prelims and the prelims. All right. And that's about it, guys. That's going to be like about almost a 3 hour, 4 hour. I say a 3 hour stream right there. Okay. So I'm going to do my due diligence. UFC 323 should be an exciting card. I'm done talking about Tom Aspinall, guys. You know what I mean? The guy is, he's going on a world tour right now. You know what I mean? The guy is basically, uh, like 98 Degrees or something. Like a boy band. Just going out there, going on tour. For his eye. Eye injury that everybody knows. It's all BS, guys. Okay, it's all BS. Nobody believes him. It's atrocious. You know what I mean? Going on every single podcast you could imagine, guys. He actually went to Ariel Helwani. He went to I actually expect him to go on the JRE. Okay, I expect him to go talk about this on the Joe Rogan show as well, guys. Okay, but I'm done talking about Tom Aspinall. Atrocious. Okay, UFC should strip him of that heavyweight title because let me tell you something. He was hand gifted that title. All right, so they should just take back what's rightfully theirs, guys. Okay, point blank, period. But we do have Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis, guys, for UFC 324. But guys, before UFC 324 and after UFC 323, guys, there's only one more event, and then we're gonna go on a 6-week hiatus, guys. I won't be going on a six week hiatus. But the UFC will be going on a 6-week hiatus. No UFC, no events for 6 weeks, guys. This have to be the longest. If I could remember this would have to be the longest time that the UFC would not have an event. Atrocious. That's it's crazy. It's like, oh man. I guess this is like you could consider this the off season. You know what I mean? You could consider this the off season for the UFC. You know what I mean? In between, the new year 2025 and 2026. How you doing, Stefan? How you doing, man? Blessings to you, man. How you doing? How you been? What is going on out there in this world, guys? Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, guys. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up. Okay, so you might as well do it again. Oh, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Welcome to your community. And welcome to your chat, man. What is going on with you? Okay, you having a great holiday out there? Hopefully, everybody's having a great holiday out there, to be honest with you. I know a lot of the times during the holidays, a lot of people like to be around family, and hopefully you are. And if you're not, that doesn't matter. Hopefully, you're having a blessed one, okay? Uh, let's see. Good morning, sir. Impressive beard. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Laseration. All right. I appreciate that, man. Blessings to you, man. Like and subscribe, guys. Any other platform? Yes, I am actually on TikTok as well, guys. I'm a new member on TikTok. I actually just made the TikTok. Maybe I want to say 2 weeks ago, possibly. Okay, so I just recently started posting there. You can go check that out as well, guys. Okay. But same name, OEMMA TV. Okay. But guys, like and subscribe. Like I said, guys, this is the only channel, okay, where the fans come first, not last. But guys, we are upon UFC 323. Is an exciting card, to be honest with you. Okay, it's an exciting card. I'll be honest. All right, but it's not, in my opinion, is not pay per view. You know, I don't think they should have made it as a pay per view. To be honest, I just followed you. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for following me over there. You'll be my first follower actually, because I don't have anybody following me over there. Like I said, it's a brand new TikTok. Just made it. I was advised to actually go over there and start posting some of my vids that I actually do on here. But yeah, that's what I started doing. But yeah, guys, we for this card, being an exciting card, I I do believe the UFC should have never made this a pay per view, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I mean, come on now. It's we're already going into 2026. This new Paramount deal. There will not be any more pay per views for the foreseeable future. That's great. Okay. That is the icing on the cake, guys. Okay, moving forward with mixed martial arts and the UFC. Let me tell you something, because the days of you buying pay per views that don't deliver, okay, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gahn, for example, okay, atrocious. If you paid to see that pay per view, I mean, I bet you were calling, the credit card company on your telly, okay, disputing that somebody stole your credit card, okay, because that's how bad that pay per view was. But moving forward, guys, UFC 323, headlined by Marab versus Peter Yan. I know for a fact Peter Yan wants revenge. Thank you for the like as well, man. I appreciate that. And thank you for the follow and thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Welcome to your community. Like I always say, guys, the only channel where the fans come first, not last. But guys, like I was saying, I know for a fact Peter Yan definitely wants revenge on Marab. Okay. He believes, he didn't lose that fight against Marab the first time around. But in my opinion, I thought Marab definitely dominated Peter Yan that very first fight and that very first go around. Okay. Marab is just a machine, guys. All right. If he's able to go in there and step in there and beat Peter Yan, that will put him in the record books. Okay. 4 times in 1 year defending his belt. Okay. And coming up on top. That is just craziness, guys. There's nobody else doing that. That's why I have Marab. My number one pound for pound right now is Marab. But like I said, it's going to be an interesting fight because I know for a fact this is going to be a different, more calculated Peter Yan. Okay, he's already been 5 rounds multiple times. He's already fought against Marab, so he knows what to expect, with Marab. But let's be honest, guys. Marab has shown that he is evolving, even at his highest level. He keeps evolving. But now, I know for a fact Peter Yan, you know, this is basically his last dance against the champion. 2 losses, puts you, in the back of the line. Same situation for Sean O'Malley, which look, Sean O'Malley, he will be actually on that card for UFC 324. So that's another story. But UFC 323 headline by Marab versus Peter Yan, and the co-main event, Alexander Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Another interesting fight. Joshua Van definitely wants to come in there and make this, a striking affair. But Alexander Pantoja, I mean, guys, he's an overall mixed martial arts fighter. I mean, he doesn't have the most technical striking, but let me tell you something. He has ability to take the fight to the ground, and his Brazilian jiu-jitsu is, far ahead of what I believe Joshua Van has to offer, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think this is a definite definite win for Alexander Pantoja just because his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is way more superior than Joshua Van, and I don't think Joshua Van has really good defensive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but we shall see, man. I mean, Joshua Van can connect. He's very technical on the feet, and the fight does start on the feet, but I think Alexander Pantoja is going to be a little bit too much. Okay, and going to Henry Cejudo, this would be his last go around, guys. This will be definitely his last dance, okay, in the UFC, and then that's it. Henry Cejudo will retire. I'm hoping he could get this win. I'm hoping he could, give us a good, impressive, like retro Henry Cejudo. He goes in there, uses his wrestling, actually comes in there with a game plan against, an up and comer, who he had a lot of momentum running with him, Peyton Tailbait, but he did suffer a loss against a guy who actually utilizes wrestling. But I don't know if Henry Cejudo is going to be able to do that. He hasn't used his wrestling since the '80s, basically. Uh, so we shall see. We shall see. But that's an interesting fight as well. You know what I mean? Maybe Peyton Tailbait goes in there and gets a dub. You know, you never know. And then we got Brandon Moreno versus Tatsu Tora. That's another interesting fight. You know, so like I said, this card for the most part, it's a good card. I ended up rating it like a 7.5 or a 7 points, yeah, like a 7.5 or 7.3 around there. Not a bad card, not a bad card at all, you know. And when it comes to my UFC fight predictions, guys, for 2025, I am 279 wins and 181 losses, guys. Okay, that is 279 wins and 181 losses. I'm hoping I can get I'm hoping I can get a lot of dubs this weekend, to be honest with you, because I want to close out 2025, with a high point. I mean, I'm way above high 500 already, but I want to, basically close this out on top. I almost had a perfect card once where I predicted all the fights and I got them all right, almost. But I want to get, I want to get a card here where I predict it all right, and it'll be like the perfect card. You know what I mean? So hopefully this could be one of those. Hopefully this could be one of those, but I don't know because I did pick Henry Cejudo to win this fight, and I don't think, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off, but I did pick him to win it. You know, but I digress. I digress. Excuse me, guys. Got a little bit thirsty there. All right. But yeah, man. I mean, I can't believe it, guys. It's the end of it. The end of an era, guys. The end of an era. I'm not gonna be watching UFC on ESPN anymore. It's gonna be on Paramount. I actually watched the trailer on Paramount because I'm already subscribed. I've been subscribed for Paramount for like the last 3 years. So I actually got a chance to watch the trailer, of the UFC on Paramount, and I can't lie, they did a good job. They did a good job. I must admit, they did a good job. The whole music, the whole mix, they mixed in fight scenes with like fights in the UFC. I thought it was, I thought it was a good mixture. I really did. I thought it was a good way to promote, the new deal with Paramount and the UFC. It was a good look, and yeah, in my opinion, I actually thought they're just in that one trailer, they did much better than what the than what ESPN has been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, guys. Okay, oh my gosh, dead honest, go. Christian says, "Bro, I can't believe that Henry Cejudo wants to fight Brandon Moreno, but honestly, I see him get his ass whipped by Brandon Moreno if he were to fight him." Yeah, but he retracted that. You know what I mean? I actually rewatched. I mean, not rewatched, but I actually watched the UFC press conference with Henry Cejudo, and he actually retracted that. You know what I mean? He was asked that by a journalist, and he said, that Brandon Moreno had some comments for him, but I mean, it wasn't like any bad comments. It was more or less like Brandon Moreno basically telling Henry Cejudo, "Look, man, you're a legend. I wouldn't want to fight you. I would want to just say, congratulations on your career. You've been brilliant." And yeah, that's about it. That's what Brandon Moreno expected. But and then Henry Cejudo actually said, he's probably right. But if they, I mean, that's an interesting fight. It is. But I still see Brandon Moreno winning that fight as well. To be honest with you, the guy is still on a high level in my opinion, and he's going to prove that this weekend. At UFC 323, guys. All right, guaranteed, guys. Okay, much higher level in my opinion. I mean, against Henry. Unless Henry Cejudo goes in there, you know, this Saturday and just gets a vicious KO on the feet against Peyton Tailbait. You never know what happens, guys. You never know. Okay, crazier things have happened. All right, but but yeah, man, I really I'm excited. I'm excited for 2026. I'm really hoping that I'm hoping that the UFC can deliver. That's basically what I'm hoping. Because in the beginning of 2025, it felt like almost every card was on shambles. Okay, it was almost as every card was on ice. Okay, everybody was getting injured. Multiple fighters were pulling out. It was crazy. You know what I mean? Alex Pereira, saving multiple cards in 2025. You know, just craziness. So excuse me, but so I hope the UFC does a better job, especially in the beginning of the year. But I'm not sure, especially with having the headliner for UFC 324, which I just it makes you think what's going to happen with Armin. What's going to happen with Armin Sarukian. Ilya Taporia is going to be out for a long time, but what happens to Armin Sarukian during this whole period? I mean, what happens to the whole division? To be honest with you, I mean, are we going to really say if Patty beats Justin Gaethje, he's going to be the champion of that division? Like, atrocious, guys. Let me see. Bobby says Cejudo taking tailbait to a decision win or what? Well, I did predict that, guys. I did predict Henry Cejudo wins this fight against Peyton tailbait, but guys, I mean, it all has to do with the game plan. Okay, if Henry Cejudo could actually go in there and utilize that damn wrestling that he hasn't used since basically the 80s, okay, then maybe Henry Cejudo could actually win. If he could stick to the game plan, okay, the guy can win this game, this fight, okay, against Peyton Tailbait, because we already saw the road to victory. You know what I mean? For beating Peyton Tailbait. All right, we already saw this. We saw the blueprint. If you wrestle on him, he has trouble. Okay, so Henry Cejudo needs to stick to the game plan, utilize that great wrestling that he has. Okay, and maybe keep it interesting on the feet, but definitely utilize that wrestling. If Henry Cejudo could take him down, which he can, then he should win. Bobby, I agree with you. I couldn't disagree with you. But guys, Henry Cejudo hasn't used his wrestling since the 80s. Okay? That's facts. It's terrible. So if he could just stick to the game plan, okay, and suck up a little bit of his pride, all right, and stop that karate shit, okay, then Henry Cejudo will be fine. Okay, Henry Cejudo will be fine. This is a very, very winnable fight for him. Okay, very, very winnable fight. In my belief, he was doing well in his last fight prior to the eye poke. He was doing very, very well. Okay, so I still think Henry Cejudo is in a high level. He's going to prove it this Saturday, but we shall see, guys. Okay, we shall see. His striking didn't look too bad against Song Yadong. We all know what happened though. Exactly. Song Yadong is a cheat, guys. Okay? Go watch my shorts. I actually predicted it before the fight, guys. I predicted that Song Yadong will cheat once the fight gets hard. Go watch it. Go watch it. Is in my shorts. Okay? I call him Song the Cheat Yadong. Always cheats when the going gets tough, guys. Let me see. Christian says absolutely agree. Can you imagine the massive risk he would be taking if he were to fight Brandon Moreno? Brandon Moreno will beat his ass fairly. That right there, he gets dominated. I agree with that, guys. I agree with that. Brandon Moreno is an overall mixed martial arts fighter. It's not like Henry Cejudo is going to go in there and out wrestle him. I mean, I don't see that happening. Brandon Moreno still is on a high level when it comes to his grappling, and when it comes to striking on his feet, I mean, he's still one of the best guys. Okay, and Henry Cejudo, I don't think he's technically sound. Well, he's technically sound. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think I don't think his fast twitch muscles is going to be good enough to get away from Brandon Moreno's punches. You know what I mean? Especially the damaging ones. You know. Bobby says, does Moreno get the win over? Yes, he does. He does get the win over him. I did pick Brandon Moreno to beat him. Tatsu Terara. I did pick Brandon Moreno to beat him. I think he's going to be able to go in there and most likely strike on the feet with him, outstrike him on the feet, find an opportunity to take him down, get his back, rear naked choke, guys, probably in the second round, guys. Okay? That's the way I see it. I see domination for Brandon Moreno, okay? Bobby says, real question is, when does Kaiji become champion? Let me tell you something. That guy, hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. Where is that guy? Hold on a second. Hold on. Where is he? Damn. But yeah, I honestly think he definitely can. Honestly think Hiraguchi. Yeah, that's him, Hiraguchi. I was trying to find his last name. Sorry about that. Pantoja submits Van round 2. I see that as well, Bobby. I see that as well. But Hiraguchi, yes, Hiraguchi. I was trying to find his last name on my. I know I wrote it down somewhere, but I honestly think Hiraguchi could definitely become champion in that division. I mean, he showed in his last performance. I mean, he just fought and he looked very, very impressive. Look, I didn't pick him to win that fight, but I did say do not be surprised if he gets to win because that guy, he's fought the who's who. The who's who. He's fought Demetrius Johnson. He's fought the who's who in that flyweight division. So Hiraguchi could definitely become champion in that division. But we shall see, man. We shall see. He looked good in his last fight, man. Very technical, and his ground game was really good. His ability to, change levels as well was really good. So we definitely have a contender, guys. Okay. Agree. He is still him. Trains with Pantoja too. Yeah, they all. Yeah, they all train together. I think it's Pantoja, him, and some other guy from the flyweight division. They all train together. Uh, and they look, man. Iron sharpens iron. Okay, and that's what's going on in that training camp. And he's still on a high level. He really is. Only lost to DJ, left to become a Bellator and Rising champion. Now he's back. Like I said, man, he's fought the who's who. The guy has fought the who's who. He has an impressive record. He really does. He has an impressive record. He's impressive overall. I thought he was gonna, because he's been around for so long. I actually thought he was gonna be missing a step, and no, he wasn't, guys. The guy was definitely not missing a step. He looked good on the feet. His grappling looked great. His control once he had you on the ground looked great. Very impressive for that guy. So maybe that is the next challenger for Pantoja, to be honest. Okay. And he sold it on the mic as well. Yeah, isn't he like 40 and he looks that fast still? I'm telling you, man, he is on the saucy. Okay, now I'm playing around, guys. All right? I'm not gonna say he's on the saucy, but you know what I mean. But he looks great. He looks great for being that old, and for being around for that long and having that much mileage. He looked good. He looked good. Technically sound. You know, I'm telling you, on the feet, he looked like he was GSP. Like straight up. He looked awesome, man. He really did. Let me see. Let me see. Who you guys think wins, Marab or Pretty on, guys? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. I'm interested in knowing. Who do you guys think wins, Marab versus Peter Yan? How does he win? What round? Let me know in the chat. I'm interested in knowing. All right, let's talk about this a little more. Come on now. Brain says Marab. Heart says Yan. All right, all right. So, okay. So you're basically going with Marab. If you had to put money on it, you're going with Marab. That's what you're telling me. Yan, my go. Yan's your go. Okay. So, but you're going with Marab. That's basically what you're saying. Because if you had to put money on it, you're going with Marab. That's what you're saying because you're going with your brain. And guys, how does he win? How does Marab win? If I had to put money on it, I'd put it on Marab. All right, Bobby. See, like I said. How does he win? How does he win? How does Marab win? Does he win by unanimous decision? Unanimous decision? Does this go to 5 rounds? Is he gonna be able to go in there and out wrestle him? Let me know. Christian says also a statement to make. Brandon Moreno would honestly send Henry Cejudo back to retirement. Henry Cejudo would be left looking like a zombie in a complete bloody mess, cuts and blood everywhere. Man, I happen to agree with that, man. You know what I mean? I think Brandon Moreno would put him in danger. Okay, I'm talking endangered species type of situation for Henry Cejudo if he was to ever fight Brandon Moreno. Hopefully that fight doesn't happen. And guys, I don't think it will happen because uh, as Henry Cejudo said at his recent press conference, this is his last dance, guys, against Peyton Tailbait. Bobby says, I think his striking impresses everyone like it has been. Corey made Marab look human at one point, so maybe Peter has a real shot. Either submission or decision win for Marab. Yeah, that's the way I see it as well. That's the way I see it as well. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's a good way to look at to look at it when talking from the perspective of Peter Yan. But it's going to be it's going to be the toughest fight for Peter Yan if he wants to come up on top. He has to stay on the feet. Okay, and if he gets taken down, he has to find an opportunity to create some space and get back up to his feet. That's where he's going to find success. And we already saw Marab is evolving even with his striking. I mean, Marab almost knocked out Corey Sandhagen, guys. Okay, nobody saw that happening. So Peter Yan is going to have to stay on his P's and Q's. You know what I mean? Especially early on, because we all know Peter Yan is a slow starter, guys. Bobby says, I'd say decision. Okay. Okay. Peter Yan versus Song Yadong is one of my favorite fights I watched live. Very good fight, guys. Very, very good fight. Very interesting. I thought it was. I thought it was. What else? What else, guys? You know what I mean? Who you guys think wins against who you guys think wins against let me see. Let me bring in another fight. Macy Barber versus Karine Silva. You guys know who that? Or do you guys not care about the women's division? ah, oh gosh. Anything out of Valentina Shevchenko, we just don't care about, guys. Okay, plain blank. Period. That's probably the reality. Okay, that's probably the reality. Yeah, let me see. But yeah, very good fight. Uh, to give the wraparound once again. I mean, Tom Aspinall is going on a world tour. You know, going on a world tour like he's in a boy band, guys. Okay, and the world tour, the name of the world tour is "Ow My Eye Poke." Okay, because the guy is just atrocious. Big baby, the biggest baby I ever seen in my life. Hopefully the UFC strip him of the heavyweight title. To be honest with you, because he doesn't deserve it. Paula Waldo Cortez Acosta is that champion in the heavyweight division because he basically walks around like he is. You know what I mean? uh, who's Thug Rose fighting? Grasso? Yes, yes, that is another fight that's going to happen. Grasso versus Rose Namajunas. Terrific fight. I did pick. I did. I do think Rose will be able to pull it off, but man, it's gonna be an interesting fight because Grasso has heavy hands and she's strong too. Grasso is really strong, but I think Rose will be able to pull it off. She's gonna have to stay. She's gonna have to stay. How can I say this? She's gonna have to stay very patient on her feet. Very patient. And if she gets an opportunity to take this fight to the ground and use her, grappling, I think she should. I think she should. I'm so glad they're giving Gon the immediate rematch. Let me tell you something. When it comes to Cyril Gahn, well deserved immediate rematch. But when it comes to Tom Aspinall, I think the UFC should take their belt back. Honest opinion, guys. Hard take. I think the UFC should take their belt back. Take it back from that guy. He doesn't deserve the title. He was hand gifted the title. Okay, basically like a little girl. You know what I mean? And he can't defend it for nothing. Okay, for nothing. So put Tom Aspinall on a freeway and basically run him over. Get him out of here because I don't think anybody cares anymore. He looked like a jackass as of late. He should have just shut his mouth, but instead he's out here singing this song, like a boy band going on tour. And let me tell you something. He's selling no tickets. Okay. Uh, Cass Aspinall and Armin to the island of misfits. Well, when it comes to Armin Saruki, and I don't think he's a misfit. You know what I mean? At all. I mean, look at what he did to Dan Hooker. He was able to go in there and actually beat the hell out of him. Beat him to a pulp. But Tom Aspinall, I mean, he's out here crying, bro. He's out here crying a song, and he's on tour, guys. All right, he is on tour, and hopefully they cut this tour because nobody's buying any tickets, guys. Like I said, just atrocious. Take the belt away from the guy. Okay? Take it back. I think Dana just hates Armin. I honestly think that as well. I think they don't have a good relationship when it comes to Armin Sarukian and the UFC, which I don't know why. You know what I mean? Everything was looking good to me. You know what I mean? But you pull out a one fight because you have an injury, and then all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom. You're on their you know bad side, so to speak. Atrocious, man. Atrocious. All this is a spectacle, guys. What I mean? Throw out the rankings. Like I said, they don't matter. They don't matter anymore. Atrocious, guys. But yeah, guys, I mean, we're going to be put on ice, guys. We are going to be put on ice. No UFC events for 6 weeks, guys. Okay, 6 weeks. I'm gonna go through withdrawals during that 6 weeks. To be honest with you, I'm gonna have to take a couple IVs. You know what I mean? To get me through the 6 weeks. To be honest with you, because I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it 6 weeks without any UFC events. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna enjoy UFC 323 for what it is. Okay, and we only have one more, fight of the night cards happening after that in December, and that's it, guys. That's it. So prepare yourselves. Pack a bag, okay? Because it's gonna be a long one. Okay, it's gonna be a long one. There will be no UFC for 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden, come January, new Paramount deal, no pay per view events for the foreseeable future. All you need to do is subscribe to Paramount. Let's go, baby. Damn, 6 weeks. What we gonna do? Bobby, I have no idea. Okay. That's why I'm telling you to prepare yourself. Pack a bag, okay? And bring some extra. All right. Because I don't know how I'm gonna go through this. Like I said, bring the IVs as well. I'm gonna need a couple of that to get me through the weeks. All right. Prepare yourselves, guys. Cause I think this might be a record for the longest time the UFC are not gonna hold an event. Okay. This is basically the off season for mixed martial arts at the highest level, guys. Okay. It literally is. All right. You have off seasons for basketball. You have off seasons for the NFL, football. You have off seasons for baseball, guys. Okay. But there's nothing like an off season for the UFC. And this might be the longest, okay, on record, guys. round 2 on repeat for 6 weeks. That's a good fight. Let me tell you something, guys. I will be going live. You know what I mean? During the 6 weeks, and we're gonna look back at 2025. Okay, and that's a definite. Okay, we're gonna look back at 2025 and continue. Looking at some special fights that happened. In past years. So it's not gonna be a lonely 6 weeks. Okay, for this community. All right, but we're gonna get through it together, guys. Okay, we're gonna get through it. But you already know what this is, guys. This is OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. And like I always say, this is your channel. The only channel where the fans come first, not last. I'm out, guys. One love. I'll see you tomorrow.